Yes, yes, yes. It's the Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And the question has to be asked. Why has Deontay Wilder not requested a rematch with Joseph Parker? We need to know what's going on. Okay, so there's been talking from Deontay Wilder. He's been saying that Anthony Joshua was going to retire if Deontay Wilder, beat Joseph Parker. And as we know, that is a pure load of bunkum. Utter nonsense. No corroboration from anywhere. He said that the man came up to his room and told him that he heard Joshua's team saying if Wilder wins, Joshua's going to retire. Bear in mind, he'd already signed a 2-fight contract. Joshua had, and so had Wilder. But then Wilder goes and messes up the bag. He loses to Joseph Parker. And what we do know is that when a fighter loses, if he wants to get back right, then what he does is there's two options. He can either rematch the cat that beat him, or he can go on and fight a bunch of other cats. Like, for example, Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker got knocked out by Joe Joyce, and he didn't rematch him. But what he did do was he went on to beat a bunch of other guys. Okay, lower caliber guys, yes, but he got a good 2 or 3 wins in from other guys, lower caliber guys. And that got him back up into contention where he could face someone like the Bronze Bomber. The Bronze Bomber who was expected to beat Joseph Parker. The Bronze Bomber who said that Joseph Parker could not live, could not function in his realm. Joseph Parker was not in his category. But then Joseph Parker comes in and beats him from pillar to post. Although I must say, skipping through Instagram, I did see Deontay Wilder in his post-fight conversation. It did strike me that he didn't appear to have a single scratch on him. So I don't know how the hell worked out. It looked like he got beat from pillar to post, and certainly on points he did. Certainly on punches landed and punches thrown he got beat, but didn't have a scratch on him. It's quite bizarre. But anyway, that's beside the point. And the point is, and the question is, to get back, you either rematch the guy who beat you, or you fight and beat a bunch of other guys. And that's how you get back into contention. But it's strange to me because it seems like Deontay Wilder, he doesn't want to do what you have to do to get back into contention. It seems like he doesn't want to fight anybody else. He hasn't made any mention of rematching Joseph Parker. He hasn't made any mention of any other fighter, working his way back up. He hasn't made any mention of that. He's just talking about Anthony Joshua is relieved that he's lost, so he don't have to fight anymore. It seems to me that even though Anthony Joshua said, hey, he still wants to fight him, it seems to me that Deontay Wilder is angling to proceed with a 2-fight contract, first fight being in March. It seems like he just thinks that he just wants to walk in without doing what you need to do to get back into contention. You either rematch and beat the guy who beat you, or you fight a bunch of other guys to get back. But it seems like Deontay Wilder wants to do neither of those things. So then that brings in the question of motivation. What is Deontay Wilder's motivation? Because he doesn't want to rematch the guy who beat him. Matter of fact, he came out the other day and said he'd be happy to lose to Joseph Parker 100 times. Joseph Parker is such a nice guy, he'd be happy to lose to him 100 times. What the hell kind of talk is that? What are you doing with the mop? What are you doing with the mop? What is Deontay Wilder's motivation? He hasn't talked about trying to get better. Well, yeah, he has actually. He has talked about trying to get better. but he hasn't talked about getting in there with other guys to get better. He just wants to get better in training camp, but we can see the training camp hasn't worked for him. He had some fancy moves, none of which applied in the actual fight. Didn't see none of this. Maybe because you didn't have a guy standing as a stationary target right in front of you. Joseph Parker was changing levels. I don't see any level changes here. Where's the uppercut? Is there one uppercut? I don't think I've seen one uppercut. Was there one uppercut thrown in your entire training camp? And what are you doing with the mop? Where's the bucket? What's going on? Where's the changing levels? Where's the going around the corners? Because sometimes, life doesn't work in straight lines. That's not how it goes. There's all kind of angles. There's at least 360 degrees. 360 angles. And you're just working on some kind of linear shizzle. What about the non-linear? Huh? What about the angles? What about the going around the corners? What about the level changes? What about the uppercuts? What about the uppercuts? Oh my gosh. So yeah, what is Deontay Wilder's motivation? Dev Sani, my bad. He asked the question, he poses the question, or the statement. The heavyweight division needs this version of Deontay Wilder. And people responded. What? A pretend one? That beat up people half his size with a low pulse? The minute he stepped up to fight an overweight, recovering drug addict, oh my gosh, she ain't playing games. He was exposed. He has continued to be exposed ever since. Nice man? Maybe. Elite heavyweight boxer? Sorry, no. And Rafael Dawkins' Combat Radio response. That version only exists when he fights bombs and fury. OMG. He only looks like a bad man. When he's fighting bombs. Look at his face. Look how he's contorted like a monster. But when he's in the presence of accomplished boxers, people who can actually box, non-bombs, his demeanor is decidedly more mellow, more placid, more approachable. He only has this kind of energy for the Dominic Breezels of the world. You see, remember how he got up on Dominic Breazeal? Cats like that. Malik Scott, now his trainer. Is Malik Scott really his trainer though? Because we lost the sound in the DAZN broadcast. And so all we could do is look at the body language. So when Wilder went back to his body language, Malik Scott was standing at a kind of distance, and his body language looked off. He didn't have the body language of a trainer. Maybe the body language of an advisor. But he didn't have the body language of a trainer. Somebody tells him what to do. So is there anybody in Deontay Wilder's camp who actually tells him what to do? Because remember, you had Mark Breland, and Deontay Wilder slandered him. Deontay Wilder accused him of poisoning him with a muscle relaxant. Mark Breland could have took this fool to court for slander. But Mark Breland is a placid type of guy. So, because he didn't like being told what to do, he got Mark Breland up out of there. They say it was because of the towel throw, but it was deeper than that. Mark Breland is on record, he's on tape, he's on tracks, he's on wax. They're saying that his 11-year-old son was a better boxer than Deontay Wilder. This is while he was Deontay Wilder's trainer, while Deontay Wilder was a professional. He said that his 11-year-old son, he laughed and said his 11-year-old son was a better boxer than Deontay Wilder. So what's Deontay Wilder's motivation? He doesn't want a rematch with Joseph Parker. He said he'd be happy to lose to Joseph Parker 100 times.
Yourself, I mean, you clawed your way to the top from the Olympics to World Championship. Do you still have that same fire you used to?
I don't know, a lot has calmed me down, I've done ayahuasca. I've been in rhythmia and done ayahuasca. I've found a lot of peace in my life. I found a lot of happiness in my life. I've been wearing this smile all week long, and I'm going to still wear it. Win, lose, or draw, I'm going to wear my smile all week long because I'm blessed and I'm highly favored.
That's a lot there. But ultimately, he says he's happy. He's in a happy place in his life. He's done ayahuasca. Ayahuasca, a drug that you go and take in the Peruvian jungles, in the jungles of Brazil, the rainforests of Brazil. They have certain ceremonies where you take this ayahuasca drug. I think you ingest it via liquid form. And they have retreats and camps. You can throw up on yourself. You can, mess yourself up. Can get pretty grimy physically, but it's supposed to take you to a higher place. It takes you inwardly. You come out of the whole process a wiser man or woman. It shows you many secrets. It unravels many locks to closed chambers of the mind. And you come out enlightened, wizened, and generally more philosophical, happier, more understanding, more empathetic. That's what it's supposed to do to you. So that's the place where Deontay Wilder is. Does he have the killer instinct? He says he don't know. He's in a happy place now. So we come back to the question, what is Deontay Wilder still in boxing for? No killer instinct. He's fallen out of love with boxing. He said that himself. He doesn't know if he's got the motivation for this shizzle. He hasn't requested a rematch. He's not pressing for a rematch with Joseph Parker. He's dropped down in the Ring magazine rankings where he'd been for years, even though he hadn't won a fight for years. Joshua moves up to second. Zilly Zhang Bang moves into third. Joseph Parker up there, fourth. Fifth is Filip Hrgovic. Six is Frank Sanchez. Seven is the other big baby, that's Jared Anderson. 8, Joe Joyce. And 9, Deontay Wilder, just ahead of Ajit Kabayal. And then you start to ask your question, well, who the hell can Deontay Wilder beat in the top 10? I don't even think he beats Ajit Kabayal. I'd love to see Ajit Kabayal against him. I think Ajit Kabayal will give Deontay Wilder fits. He'd give him fits. It would be comical. It wouldn't even be funny. Joe Joyce doesn't move his head. He put a lot of leather on Deontay Wilder, but he doesn't move his own head. And that could prove detrimental. But would it prove detrimental? Because Deontay Wilder, it seems like he's got the Adrian Broner disease, where he finds it hard to throw a punch. So, I don't know. I mean, we've already been through this on the live show. The last live show, go ahead into the channel. You can check out the last live show. I've been through all of this, and I find it hard to see where Deontay Wilder picks up a win in the top 10. Because to get back, you presume you want to beat the guy who beat you or somebody in the top 10 at this stage. Does he even beat Jared Anderson? Does he beat Frank Sanchez? Filip Hrgovic? He's just been beat by Joseph Parker. He doesn't appear to want a rematch. He's not calling for one. Does he beat the Southpaw, the big Chinaman, the big Zilly Zhang Bang? Does he beat Anthony Joshua? Because people are saying Anthony Joshua would have wrecked him on that night. Would have left him splayed out all over the canvas like roadkill. Tyson Fury. Does he beat Tyson Fury? Well, he's fought him 3 times and he hasn't beat him once yet. And it's speculated that his poor performance against Joseph Parker could at least be at part attributed to the fact that he's had his guts, he's had his gizzard ripped out of him by the Gypsy King. And it's also speculated that one of the reasons why the Gypsy King looked so bad against Ngannou was that he didn't take his training seriously. He had a mediocre training camp. Well, there's a cat called Tom Aspinall. He was an interim heavyweight champion from Britain. And he was in and around the training camp. And he says he testified that Tyson Fury took it very seriously. It was a very serious and a very intense training camp. So The excuse that, oh, Tyson Fury didn't take it seriously is utter poppycock. We have insiders who know that Tyson Fury did indeed take it very seriously. And it's speculated that it's in part, at least in part, due to Tyson Fury's wars with Deontay Wilder. So could it be that both men have been left physically and neurologically impaired? Could that be the case? Could it be the case that Deontay Wilder is just in it for the money now? He lost out when he followed Al Heyman's advice, when he let Al Heyman blindside him, let Al Heyman make a fool of him, when Al Heyman persuaded him to walk away from the $120 million DAZN offer. Does he feel bitter about that? Does he feel like a fool? Does he feel like a punk? Does he feel like a sap because he got finessed out of money, out of life-changing generational wealth to fight for lesser monies? Still good, still a lot of money, but lesser monies against Fury. Does he feel like a fool that he wants to circle back and get some of that back? Because I doubt that it's, even though it's in Saudi, I doubt that it's going to be as generous an offer as when he was the WBC champ and when Anthony Joshua was the unified champ. And if they'd have fought together, one of them would have walked away as undisputed. But instead of that, you went and cherry-picked Tyson Fury for no belt. Tyson Fury didn't have no belt. So instead of fighting Anthony Joshua for undisputed, you chose to pick Tyson Fury, who was coming off the couch, who you thought was a bum. And it was a cherry pick, but it was a bitter, bitter, rotten cherry that burst in your mouth and left a bad taste in your mouth. My friend, it was a cherry pick gone terribly, terribly wrong. And so why? What is Deontay Wilder's motivation now? Why is he lingering around? He's admitted that the killer instinct done gone south, or east or west or north. He don't know where it is. It's gone. It's gone. So here's a man without the killer instinct. Here is a man who clearly didn't train to his optimum level. He looked even more scrawny than he sometimes does at the lower weight. He's the scrawniest we ever saw him. So what the hell exactly is he doing back in the sport? Why is he in the sport? No killer instinct, gone. Training not optimal. There's no nutritionist on board. What was the level of training intensity? Tay Jones came out and said, well, listen, if you want to do this, we really gotta step it up. We gotta live the life properly. If we really want to do this, we gotta live the life properly. We gotta do it all the way. Tay Jones said that. So what has his training really been like? Is he committed? It doesn't look like it. So what is he hanging about the sport for? I think it's pretty damn obvious. He's only come back for the money. He's come back for the Joshua money. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. So right about now, remember when he used to talk about when he wants to go to Hollywood, he wants to be an actor? Well, right about now, Deontay Wilder is acting a role. He's acting the part of a man who really wants to achieve greatness, but he's not living the life of a boxer. When was the last time you saw a serious champion going into camp with his lady? Every time you see him, he's with his lady. She's in camp. She's there too. We'll see her shortly. I have never seen that. So is Deontay Wilder an actor? Is he now an actor, acting a part? And his final act is to get the bag, the biggest bag of his life. So he has to play the part of a boxer. Is Deontay Wilder now an actor playing a part in his own movie? Have your say. It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'm out. And Happy New Year.